Welcome to all inspiring chefs, cooks, and everything in between alike. This is Griever, your guys' host as always, bringing you not a behind the bar reviews, no, because we're doing the fourth plate of Shokugeki no Souma, anime episode 2. Now, this was a good episode. This actually, they're speeding it along quite a bit. One of the things about the Team Shokugeki battle in the manga, without any spoilers, ladies and gentlemen, for your anime-only watchers, is that some of the chapters really dragged. It's not that they dragged because they took too long. It's because in the manga, if you guys ever read the manga, the artwork is very full page. They don't do One Piece and Fairy Tail and a lot of the other shonens out there that have like 5-6 panels like a comic book. In Shokugeki no Souma, the manga, there's a lot of like 2 panels and a full half a page, a whole page, a double spread, 1 page. Beautiful artwork and really gets you intense and hype. The problem is that they don't utilize the pages. They utilize them well for great artwork and great visuals, but it does tend to make everything drag because you only have 18-20 pages per week. And thus, when you spend most of your time, when you don't add 6 or 7 panels each page, then you can't really move the story. You can't progress very far, right? So this episode was a good way to culminate that. With anime, of course, you can show a bunch of movements and do a lot in the 22 minutes you have. And this episode showcases that very well because this episode continues the bouts that we've already had. We have Mimasaki versus Saito, we have Mishima versus Rindo, and of course we have Kuga versus Tsukasa. Now, they talk first about the Tsukasa fight, right? They talk about Kuga versus Tsukasa and how Tsukasa has the utmost respect. He is the white knight of the table. He has the utmost respect for the sovereign known as ingredient. He's able to speak and hear the voice of the ingredient sort of idea, and he's able to make... It's a little Toriko-esque. If you guys have read Toriko, and if you haven't, you should. It's a really good shonen. Generic, but fun. So... But I really enjoy that because Tsukasa, this makes him very deadly because he's the one who can look at the ingredient. He can hear the voice and know exactly what to do with no forethought. He just knows exactly what will harmonize almost automatically. That's his basic ability, and he's the White Knight. Now, he uses a tool, his knife of choice, his chef's knife, in the same way that the Mezzaluna is the Adani brothers' method, like Takumi's and stuff. And Souma, of course, has his knife from his father. The knife, so to speak, that Tsukasa uses is known as a grater. I have called it many times. Usually it's used for things like zests, like lime and lemon zest, garlic grating, things like that, right? I primarily use it for these reasons. Now, this, for example, is a garlic grater. It's what I use. It's very similar to the one Tsukasa uses. However, his is extended long enough to be basically the size of a sword. The length of it, it's the right shape. It's got the handle. It's got the whole bit, right? And this is a garlic grater or lemon zest or whatever. It can be for anything. You could use it for orange zest. You could use it for a lot of different zests. Or you could use it to really fine-tune onions even, garlic, anything like that. Peppers, cayenne, anything like that. So he uses this as his primary choice of tool. But his, is, of course, as I said, is very extended. It's very long. This makes him known as because Megami notices it's almost like a sword, like he's using a sword, because he uses it, generally speaking, you have your rough side and your flat side, right? This is very rough. This will cut your fingers. This is the other side. He uses it like a damn javelin sword, and he, jab, 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 and he's able to slice it. The true way to use this is, you take this bladed side like a cheese grater, and you just go along the rough. Just constantly, you take it and you go like this and you constantly just shave. It's just creating shavings down here, which you eventually, you scoop up, and then you'll have your almost paste-like shavings from all the au juice and stuff that you get from your ingredient. Now, that being said, so that's basically what Tsukasa uses, and it's kind of cool. It's a cool concept. Of course, it's way out to next Tuesday, but that's Shokugeki no Souma. I really enjoy this because they say, like, how is he going to defeat this? He's using all the different types of tea leaves. He's going to combine all the green tea leaves all in one. They give you a little history about, and of course they're explaining the cooking process, right? The cool thing is, of course, this is a team Shokugeki, and we all of a sudden see, like, how is Kuga going to be able to defeat the white knight of the table? And then we get, all of a sudden, Mimisaka, he throws a jar towards Kuga, and Kuja, he catches it, and he's like, thanks, man. And it's smoked soy sauce. Basically, the entire time, because Saito has been deciding what he's going to do. So Mimisaka, he's used his trace. He hasn't used his trace yet. He uses his perfect trace against Saito later on in this episode. But here, this is a team Shokugeki battle. So he, the whole time, was preparing a smoked soy sauce for Kuja to use against Tsukasa. It's a team Shokugeki. You can combine ingredients, and that is the way to win. Aizen even brings this up and says, didn't you want to beat him fair and square, like one-on-one? He goes, this isn't about a one-on-one versus me. The only way to beat Tsukasa, he goes, we can't gamble this. I'm going to use every tool at my disposal to defeat his, undefeatable winning streak, right? And in a team Shokugeki, that's literally right now, by looking at the competition, that's probably the only way they can defeat someone like Tsukasa, the first seed, is by teaming up and fighting his solo dish against their multitude of dishes, right? Like the multitude of flavors. Because you only have a set time limit to, of course, prepare your meal and stuff. It's very Iron Chef-like. So that's very interesting. I have never actually smoked soy sauce myself. The method they used is similar to how you would in a true outdoor smoker. I'm actually going to attempt this if it doesn't get too cold. I mean, it is November now, and this is Canada, but I would really like to attempt this smoked soy sauce and see if there is a difference between regular soy sauce and smoked soy sauce. Just a pot of soy sauce on the grill, let it smoke itself to death, and see if it really retains that flavor, Will it really change the flavor of my sushi or my marinades or whatever I decide to use the smoked soy sauce for? I would really be interested in that. So, but that being said, the rest of the episode goes on. It's Saito and Mimisaka versus each other in a perfect trace. And he continues to trace all of Saito's. They make the same sushi with one different blah, blah, blah. But they continue to trace. He ends up, they go through a little bit of a backstory here, and just showing that he has grown as a chef because of Takumi, because of Souma, and he's been humbled, but he's going to perfect his trace even further. He continues to trace. Saito, ever being the honorable, samurai and following Bushido to the letter, decides he hands him his knife and says, this knife, this katana type of sword knife, this is the one, I don't want anybody to say I lost because, you didn't have the proper tool. Your knife is too dull to do this properly. Use my knife to make this sushi. And he's like, I'll take it. And, so a very honorable way of doing things, right? And then we have, of course, the African ramen versus the lazuri. It's a strange cooking method of using the cayenne and stuff, right? And the alligator meat with rindo. Seems very interesting. Either way, they both basically show up nearly the same time. They eat the sushi, they eat the ramen, and everyone's like, wow, the sushi seems to be a perfect trace. We have the African ramen. Of course, it's going to be incredible, and there's compliments abound. But then we see the score, and it's 3-0 and 3-0. Not for the Rebels this time. No, Mimisaka, he lost, and so did Megashima. I mean, Megashima already did his job. He won his first battle, and he's also gone toe-to-toe with the second seat with Rindo to really... I mean, this is a good method here because this, as we're going to see, I don't think it's much of a spoiler, ladies and gentlemen, but this will play to their strength slightly because they have just worn out the second seat, right? Because going up against Megashima is not Rindo might have won 3-0, but she had to go 100%. It doesn't seem like it right now. It's a little spoiler-esque, but I know that episode 3 and 4 are out, so probably no big deal. I'm sure they're going to be in those episodes where we see that Rindo is basically huddled in a room in her blanket, sleeping it off because she had to go all out. You can't just beat Megashima. Souma couldn't beat Megashima, right? So Rindo really had to go all out, so she's going to be exhausted after this. It is kind of a good strategy, but at the end of the day, as Arena pointed out last episode, if we don't it's not like Kendo, it's not like the best of this. If we can't defeat all their members, if we can't beat the first or the second seed, doesn't matter how many other matches we win, right? If we can't defeat this opponent, they can just wipe us out. So, very interesting. And of course, the other fight was Saito basically talks about the invisible cuts that are layered on sushi. I knew about this invisible cuts thing. I'm not sure about the explanation they make is that when you cut it, I don't think you'd be able to actually notice a difference in taste. But of course, these are high level judges, so maybe they could. And of course, it's an anime, right? But apparently, it's the number of invisible cuts. He went with the traditional method, while Saito used a method that is slightly altered, but it'll bring out the flavor. It's fewer invisible cuts in the sushi meat, which will actually enhance the flavor. The African ramen was perfect. It was just simply beaten out by Rindo's rendition with the alligator meat. So, that's basically the end of the episode. We don't see Kuga is showing up. He goes, hey, we still have one more battle to go, right? Shokugeki, and he's ready to present his dish at the end of the episode up against Tsukasa's. What's going to happen? Who knows? But I'm sure everybody does, who's read the manga, of course, like myself, or I'm sure it's explained in the next 2 episodes that I believe we're up to episode 4 now, episode 5 coming out this week. But I'm hoping to get these out, as I said, by the end of this week coming here, first week of November, really. That's when I hope to be kind of caught up, or at least only 1 episode behind, similar to Dr. Stone. So, but what did you guys think of the episode? What did you think of the grader? I found it very disheartening, kind of odd. I understand that they want to, hey, what's that? Try to explain to the audience. But Souma not knowing, with Joshiro as a chef, not knowing this very basic, tool of the kitchen is baffles me. Like this is a constant. This is something that is in every dollar store, in every Walmart, in every... it's such a common... Like, for anybody who does any actual cooking, I'm not talking about heating up a thing of Kraft Dinner, guys, or making a couple of burger patties. I'm talking about actually... though you can make those great, of course. But I'm talking about people who actually cook, who make different recipes, and they read their cookbooks, and they are constantly doing and experimenting different things. He should know about this. This is not an uncommon tool of the kitchen. It is used for everything from garlicking your steaks all the way to making in different marinades, to slicing down for different, even baking, for God's sake. So I find it very odd that someone didn't know what this was. I didn't go back and check the manga if that was the case, but it's a garlic grater, guys. I've always called it a garlic grater or a zest grater. It's what it is. It's easy to use. It's got the handle. You can buy ones that are stand up like a cheese grater and such, but these are much more effective, I have found over the years. So, but that being said, that's my only real critique of the episode, and that's not really an anime thing. That's a storytelling perspective that, somebody else, let one of the other people in the cage ask, like let one of the other Polestar door members ask, like, I've never really seen a grater like that, Souma asking seems odd. But anyways, guys, that's it for episode 2. What did you guys all think of the episode? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Like, subscribe, comment, as always. And don't forget to hit that bell notification if you guys want to know every single time I drop a video, especially the Shokugeki no Souma content, of course. I know you guys all love it. This has been Griever with your not behind the bar reviews, but anime episode review. Keep cooking, guys, and as always, drink responsibly. We'll see you next time.